श्री सच्चिदानंद सद्गुरु साईनाथ महाराज की जय. Sai is not confined to one place. Sai dwells in all creation, from the Brahma to small creatures like ants and flies. He pervades all and is everywhere. Sai was well versed in the Vedas and had all attributes of absolute Brahman. As he was proficient in both, he was well fitted to be a Sadguru. Sai Baba often said that let this his man, which is his devotees, be at any distance, 1,000 kos away from him, he will be drawn to Shirdi like a sparrow with a thread tied to its feet. This chapter describes stories of such sparrows. He asked one to draw a trident and the other for a khichdi. My man can be in any place, even thousands of miles away. I will draw him to me with a string tied to his feet, like a sparrow fledging. Baba said these words often. People not only heard them frequently but also experienced that. Once Sainath fills the vision, there is no room for anyone else there. Even when the eyes are closed, it is Sainath that encompasses the vision. A gentleman was first serving in the railways and afterwards in Sri Venkateshwar Press in Bombay, and thereafter in the firm of Messrs. Raleigh Brothers as a munshi. He got a contract of Baba in 1910. The Raleigh brothers were Greek merchants who bought things from all over India and had their businesses and establishments in different cities, out of which Bombay was one. The author met Lalaji Lakshmi Chand and narrated his experiences, which I have treasured in my heart with great love. He saw a bearded old sadhu surrounded by devotees. The Mahatma was standing thus, to whom he paid loving reverence. Some time later, Lakshmi Chand went to the house of Dattatreya Manjunath Bijur to hear the Kirtan of Das Ganu. It was always a practice of Das Ganu to keep Baba's picture in front of him. Immediately on seeing it, Lakshmi Chand was reminded of the man he had seen in his dream. Lakshmi Chand was very tender-hearted and had loving tears in his eyes. He yearned to meet and see the personage in the picture. He had no other thought in his mind except the person he saw earlier in his dream and whose picture he had seen in the Kirtan. His inner inclination was fixed there only. His joy knew no bounds, and he at once decided to go to Shirdi. He borrowed rupees 15 from his cousin and after making due preparations left for Shirdi. With puja materials in hand, they then went to the masjid and worshipped Baba with due formality. He offered incense, light betel leaf and made monetary offering. Lakshmi Chand was very moved and extremely happy to see Baba. He was enwrapped with Baba's feet as a bee with sweet-smelling lotus. Lakshmi Chand was wonderstruck at Baba's omniscience. He was at a loss to know how Baba came to know about all the things that happened en route from his house to Shirdi. At noon, when Lakshmi Chand was sitting for meals, he got some sanza, which is sweet wheat pudding, from a devotee as prasad. At the noon aarti, Babu Sahib Jog asked Baba what naivedya he should bring. Baba told him to bring sanza. Then the bhaktas brought 2 big potfuls of sanza. Lakshmi Chand was very hungry and there was some pain in his back. Then Baba said to him, "It is good that you are hungry. Take sanza and some medicine for the pain in the back." He was again wonderstruck to see Baba again, read his mind and spoke out what was passing therein. How omniscient was he. Lakshmi Chand regularly offered agarbattis, coconut and garland. Lakshmi Chand also prospered. The puja was regular and ritualistic. He developed such a devotion for Sai that whenever he found someone going to Shirdi, he sent along with him garland, dakshina, camphor and agarbattis. Whenever Lakshmi Chand came to know that someone was going to Shirdi, he sent these 3 things with dakshina for Baba without fail. Lakshmi Chand returned after receiving Udayan blessings with his friend and joyfully sang about Baba's glory on the way home. Similarly, another sparrow was tied and brought to Shirdi by Baba when the time was right for darshan. The sparrow was a loving lady. Her story was very wonderful. She lived in Bharampur, where she saw Sai Maharaj in his dream. One lady in Bharampur saw in her dream Sai Baba coming to her door and begging for khichdi, which is rice cooked with dal and salt, for his meals. On awakening, she saw nobody at the door. She explained this dream to her husband. The couple was very devout and became anxious for Sai's darshan. They were curious about the dream and they felt that Sai's leelas were inexplicable. So, on a convenient day, they left to Shirdi. On the way, they paid homage at their Gomti Tirth and reached Shirdi. They took Baba's darshan and love and worshipped him with devotion. Serving Baba's feet regularly, they were full of happiness. Strange to say that Baba seemed that day hungry for khichdi and wanted that first thing. And the lady came with the dish. Baba was delighted and began to eat morsel after morsel of khichdi. On seeing the earnestness of Baba in this respect, everyone was wonderstruck, and those who heard the story of the khichdi were convinced about his extraordinary love for his devotees. Thus the couple stayed happily at Shirdi for 2 months. Baba also was satisfied with the khichdi meal made with faith and devotion. Megha of Virmagaon was a simple and illiterate Brahmin, cook of Rao Bahadur H.B. Sate. He was a devotee of Shiva and always chanted the first syllable mantra Namah Shivaya. He did not know the Sandhya nor its chief mantra, the Gayatri. Rao Bahadur Sate was interested in him, got him taught the Sandhya and the Gayatri. Sate told him that Sai Baba of Shirdi was embodied form of God Shiva and made him start for Shirdi. He attained a place at Shirdi because of some connection with Sai in his previous birth. Megha's merits of past life was great, because of which he came in contact with Rao Bahadur Sate. It was only then that he started to make spiritual progress. Megha was already a Shankar devotee. When he got attached to Sai's feet, he looked on Sainath as Shankar. He was his Umanath. Megha continuously chanted Sai Shankar day and night, and his inner self was merged in his form. His mind was pure and free of sin. He became a dedicated devotee of Sai. He felt that Sai was Shankar himself. His chant of Shankar Shankar reverberated. He did not believe in any other deity. Shankar likes bell leaves, but there were no bell trees in Shirdi. Therefore, Megha went for a cause and a half to fulfill the desire of offering these leaves. Till Megha was in Shirdi, he performed the noon aarti regularly, but before that, he worshipped all the village deities and then went to the masjid. The next day, a Ramdasi devotee from Pune came to the masjid. He did obeisance to Baba with love and presented him with a lingam. For the one who places his burdens on me, which is Sai Baba, and has become one in me, I manipulate all his actions like the actions of a marionette. Since Megha liked the worship of Shankar by presenting him with the Shankar, which is the lingam, Sai strengthened his devotion. Such are the marvelous narrations of Sai. Hemant Pant surrenders to Sri Sai. I encourage all Baba devotees to read the Sai Sat Charitra every day and soak in Baba bliss. Baba bless you. Om Sai Ram.